Hello, everybody. Welcome to High Vibe in It. Today, as always, we have a very special episode for you to help bring you some inspiration, help change your life, open your perspective, and all that fun stuff. My name is Kelsey Aida. I'm an inspirational blogger and author, and I'm here with my co-host, Miss Lindsay Robinson, who is a wonderful hypnotherapist. And today we have a very special guest named Tom Palladino. And he is a very, very interesting, smart, and forward-thinking individual who has created a global healing ministry that is the answer for pathogenic disease. So today we're going to get into that, kind of how it works, what inspired Tom to create this technology, and how we can use it to create a better world and improve everyone's health. So, hey guys, what's going on?
Hi, Kelsey. Great to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. We're really excited to talk about this creation of yours, this manifestation of yours, and how it came to be, and why you're so passionate about it, and how we can help spread the word about it. So,
and you're doing that. And thank you, Lindsay, also.
No worries. I'm excited. I can't wait. Are we ready to dive in? Because I got questions.
Go for
Let's
it.
do it. Let's do it.
Okay. So first of all, thanks for being here. You got your work is just so intriguing. Whether or not you listen to this episode and you can 100% get on board with this or not, the thought of what you do, if it's just could be possible. I mean, what do you got to lose, right? That's where I'm coming from. What do you have to lose, and what do you have to gain by just giving this your ears for the hour? So you come from a place, can I say claim? I guess you claim that you
Sure.
have discovered or you have harnessed this tool, this technique that can eradicate pathogens in the body. Is that correct?
That's correct. Germs, correct. Microbes, yes.
So that's a big statement.
Yes.
But you're like, yeah, it is, but I stand by it because it's true. Which is just so, it's such a big statement, but it's so, if it is something that's something, I mean, this could change the world.
We're about to. We're about to. And thank you both for believing in this and giving this the opportunity to be heard by the general public. We are about to change the world. This technology is sound, and what we will explore over the next hour is going to have an impact to the four corners of the earth.
Also a big statement.
Also, I'm so excited because this is so in alignment with our show, High Vibe in It. By eradicating these diseases, we are raising the vibration of the planet. And just by even talking about it today, I can feel like a collective upgrade in our hopefulness, in our resilience, in our health and wellness. So yeah, thanks for being here. And I guess before we dive into all the questions, Tom, can you give us kind of your brief story of how you got started doing all of this and how it came to be?
Sure. I've always had an interest in invention. And as a youngster, I read about the scientist Nikola Tesla, one of the greatest inventors of all time. And in some way, I wanted to continue on with his work. And I think I'm doing that today, continuing on with the work of Nikola Tesla. Tesla gave us AC electricity. The modern day age essentially can be attributed to him and other scientists. And I see how important that discovery is and how inventions really serve as milestones, if you will, for human progress. Look at all the inventions around us. Well, that helps us live a more civilized, a more convenient lifestyle. That's what I'm all about. I want to bring this technology to the fore so that we can live a more civilized and a more, if you will, comfortable lifestyle.
Yeah, we love that because we're all about making things easy here on High Vibe in It. We try to help people to learn the energetic way to achieve their dreams so that they don't have to struggle in their life to try and get there. So yeah, that's totally in alignment with what we're all about. How long have you been doing this as far as calling it scalar light technology? Did I say it correctly? Is it scalar or scalar?
Scalar, that's correct.
Okay.
It's been my life goal. So if I had to put a number to it, it's been a 40-year pursuit. For the past 40 years, I have been studying this science and trying to understand in theory how it works, and I believe I do understand in theory how it works, and I can prove that because in practice, I have instruments that work with this energy. So this is not theoretical anymore on my part. This is an instrumentation that does indeed control a different dimension. We call it scalar. Some people call it chi or prana. I am controlling a dimension of energy that is not electricity. And with this dimension, we can do incredible things.
So you're taking life force energy and giving it to people. How does it get like transmitted to the person who's asking for treatment?
Because they don't have
Sure.
to be in the same room. You literally just send a picture, right?
That's right. That's right. So let me explain. When we're working with this energy, it works like a satellite. If your cell phone can receive a satellite signal, I can send satellite signals, scalar energy satellite signals to anybody in the world. And the way I do that is I take a photograph of a person, some part of their anatomy, some part of their skin. And when I place their photograph in the instrument can find them. It's quite profound.
Yeah.
So a photograph of a person allows the instrument to identify that person and then send energy, scalar energy, or this prana energy to them.
Yeah. And also I feel like the photograph, when the person gives you the photograph, it's their way of giving you permission to connect with their energy field.
Yeah.
So it's a two-way street. You can't just like do this on people who don't want it, you know?
That's
And to me, so I know I can hear a lot of doubts already in people's minds from their skeptical parts being like, well, how can a machine just know who I am and work on me on my behalf and blah, blah, blah. But think of it like this. If you're into psychic things at all and you have any sort of psychic ability or you believe that other people do, which I can tell you that I have psychic abilities. I know a lot of people who have psychic abilities. We all have the potential for this. We kind of connect to a similar field where we can communicate with each other remotely in an unseen way. We can have premonitions about our friends who are far. We can connect telepathically with each other. And this to me is like no different.
Yeah.
To me, it's similar. The connection of energy where it crosses over time and space and it doesn't matter. It's just the intention of you doing the healing work and this person wanting to receive the help.
Yes, but well spoken. You know, we've seen various movies. One of them was The Matrix, and what's alluded to in that movie is that there is a blanket, if you will, throughout the universe, an all-encompassing energy. Some people call that the spirit of God. That's what scalar energy is. It's everywhere. So once you tap into that dimension, what you can achieve in that dimension, you cannot achieve by way of electromagnetic energy.
That's a good distinction because I think people could easily confuse because we don't necessarily always see electricity with our eyes, and we can't necessarily see this with our eyes unless we're super, super psychic and we have those extrasensory abilities. Because I'm sure there are people who can see like in a person's field when you're working on them. I bet they're able to tell the difference. But yeah, that's really cool.
Now, I just have so many questions bouncing in my brain right now. So I'm going to try to like articulate.
Start with one.
I'll start with one. So you mentioned pathogens, right? So you're very specific about the pathogen part. At what point is it in the near future where we could be moving into a space of like cancer or like hereditary stuff? You know, like what's possible with this technology?
Yeah, well,
from your point of view.
I think everything is possible, and the reason I say that, I would believe that scalar energy serves as the instructions for the universe. And so with this instructions, we could re-instruct our genome and correct, say, genetic dysfunction. We could correct a cell. We could correct cancer, a mutant cell. We can use this energy presently to destroy microbes, germs. But again, to answer your question, I think the future is really unlimited with this energy. And I will say
that
this,
is correct.
It is unlimited because we're working with this energy that's infinite in supply. It's from the sun, it's from the stars. So there's no scarcity here as far as the other energy is concerned.
Well, and there's a good example that I believe I can't remember who gave the example, but it's any kind of technology that's new like this. We're like, oh, that's impossible. Oh, that can't be real. But if you were to take an atomic bomb, for instance, back to like the 1800s, they would not know what to do with it. They wouldn't have any idea what it was, and it would, they would poke and prod at it and maybe open it up, and then they would be completely wiped out. There's no way we can know what's possible if we haven't been there yet. It also, that saying, it all seems impossible until it's possible. But I think that's a perfect example of, back then we would be like, there's no such thing as nuclear energy, atomic bomb. What are you talking about? Of course that's not possible, because they were just getting into coal and trains and all that stuff. So it's like totally possible, I mean, I think it's possible, but it's totally not out of the realm of probability that there are just things we don't know about yet. But you're saying I do know about these things, and let me shout it from the rooftop that these things are real. Give me, because I just think this is fascinating. Give me one example that jumps out at you as far as somebody who has benefited. Because I've been to your website, dude. You got like 300 or some crazy odd number of pages of 5-star like reviews, and like, this guy changed my life. So give me one of those that really jumps out in your mind.
Recently, we've been working with a clinic in India, and we're working with people who are HIV positive, and we've been able to break apart to destroy the HIV virus. And what's really telling, ladies, is this. We've worked now with over 50 people in a clinic in Delhi, India, and everybody that we've worked with is now HIV negative. We have test results that show that we've been able to eradicate the HIV virus in these people, and it's across the board without exception. So I'm going to go on record by saying I'm going to go on record by saying Scalar is the answer for HIV. We have the means now to easily destroy the HIV virus.
I mean, I'm pretty open-minded, I think, Kels, I think you'd agree. But even this is like, okay, my mind wants to like reject it, because as I mentioned before the call, modern medicine and science, and mainstream science, I guess you could say, has told us that these things are impossible. And we have the answers, and fund our research, and we will hopefully be able to effectively treat or gain progress in eradicating this disease. But you are challenging all of that right now.
Yeah, it's this new technology, to be quite blunt, is a game changer.
Yeah.
And it's going to change the way we look at society. And frankly, this new technology will make obsolete much of the existing technology in practice today. So I say this so many times, if this is the first time you've heard about scalar light, scalar energy, it will not be the last. Scalar light, this technology is about to change the course of human history.
And you've worked with clinics, or rather you've gotten test results back from working with you from everywhere in the world.
Yes, that's
so
right.
It's not just isolated to like one place in the world where they're like, yeah, Tom's got it. He's good. You have what you would call proof from all over the world saying that your work there's something to this.
And that's very important. Thanks, Lindsay. There are clinics from around the world that are sending me test results now, whether it's HIV, herpes, Epstein-Barr. I'm just speaking of various viral infections that per se, there is no cure. And these clinics, without exception, say that we have been able to eradicate these viruses from the human body. There's no viral load. Many of the people no longer have any symptoms from these viral diseases. So as you stated, this is not to be taken lightly. Hundreds of clinics around the world are corroborating our results. We have the answer for viral disease.
Dang.
So cool.
I love this because I'm an Aquarius, so I'm one of those forward thinker, outside the box, do not accept the social norm, move past that into the future type of person. Yes. So this is like totally up my alley. And I love how unapologetic you are about your mission, because like that's your truth. Do you feel that this is what some people would call your life purpose?
Yes.
To be doing this work?
Yeah, very, very good. My dad once put it to me. He said, well, this is why you were put on planet Earth. So I give credence to my dad, God rest his soul. But yes, and my mom felt that way too, sure.
So
I
everyone's
love,
on board that it's your mission, including
yeah,
me.
yeah. And I love the unapologetic, like you remind me, the way that you speak about this reminds me of really the way I speak about hypnotherapy, where like I can only see this happen for you so many times before I have to just believe that this is a real thing. So you're not, there's no question in your mind where you're like, well, maybe, you know, it was this or maybe it was that. You're like, no, I've seen it so many times that I cannot deny it at this point.
Yeah,
Not that you would, but I mean, the evidence just kind of speaks for itself
right.
when it comes to you. So I believe we got to take a break, right, Kels? And when we come back, we're going to talk more with Tom about this, his amazing work, get more into how you work with people and what that might look like. And yeah, have some more fun. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Lindsay here, and I'm here with Kelsey and the wonderful Tom Palladino. He is doing some amazing work in the world and claims that he can eradicate and, you know, basically break apart these pathogens in the human body from anywhere in the world with this amazing instrument that he uses. Hi, Tom. Welcome back.
Well, it's great to be here once again. Thank you.
So I know that, you know, during the break, me and Kelsey were talking about a little side effect that we thought might be related, because you've been nice enough to treat us leading up to the call, and we sent you our photos and all that stuff. So Kelsey, what's the side effect that we both are experiencing?
Well, it's interesting because lately I've been having a lot more emotional purging than usual. And I thought, oh, maybe it's just because I'm, you know, emotional. I'm a sensitive person. So it depends on the time of month. It depends on what's going on. But like in my outer world, nothing has really been going on lately. So then I was like, maybe it's the treatment that's helping me purge all this yucky, old, stuck energy. And I'll let Tom explain how it's working. But yeah. Can you explain how this can affect and shift the emotional body and the chakra system?
I'd love to. If we look at the 7 chakras, what are they composed of? They're composed of light, scalar light. They're not electrical points, they're scalar points. So those 7 chakras that we have can be, we can access those. We can have a direct interface with those 7 chakras with a scalar energy instrument. So my instrument has an immediate influence upon our 7 chakras. The instrument also has an immediate influence upon our brain waves. What are brain waves? Well, at origin, at their point of origin, all brain waves are scalar waves. So with a scalar energy instrument, we have a direct influence on our 7 chakras, which are scalar energy, and we also have a direct influence on our brain waves, which are composed of scalar waves, scalar energy. So this instrument with a chakra balancing serves to uplift people, serves to elevate their mood. It serves to have a direct interface with their emotional state, with their spiritual state. It's very profound what this energy can do.
I have noticed since, when did we start the treatment? Like a week ago, something? I think it's been like 7 days or something. I did yoga for the first time in like 3 years because I was really tired and I felt like I just needed to stretch. I am always tired, but that day I was like, let me do some yoga. That's a good idea. I've also wanted to get back into like my spiritual side. I've noticed that. But as far as like my mood and my emotions, like Kelsey said, she feels like she's been purging a lot. I would say that that is the same with me. I've felt, you know, just like stuff needs to get out. Like that's how I've been feeling. So do you have anything that you would recommend somebody who's maybe experiencing this? Like, cause my first thing would be like, I need to go meditate or something, but do you have anything that you tell people?
I think that's prudent. Go meditate and allow this purging to take place. You know, consider that this energy which is sunlight or starlight in its very quintessence, in its very purest form, it really is a divine energy. Yeah. And if I'm working with you with scalar light, it's really life force energy, or what people call the God force. And that can only do good. That is a corrective energy. So if you're experiencing a chakra balancing, God is correcting your psyche as well as your 7 chakras. I firmly believe that. I firmly believe, and I've said this many times, that scalar light will be the doorway to mental health in the future.
Okay, good. So yeah, just whatever you do normally to get your mind right, just continue doing that.
That's right.
Which I will. I'm gonna do some more yoga or something. But
I'm gonna do some more crying until it's all over.
Just-
Till I get it all out of my system.
crying and yoga. What can't be fixed with crying and yoga, really?
Those are timeless tools for healing. Crying and yoga.
So I want to talk about your link to Nikola Tesla, because I've always been so fascinated with Nikola Tesla. I feel like he does not get the credit he deserves.
He does
So go back to, you said the inspiration for this work, or the origin of this work, started with him. Say more about that. How did he directly influence where you decided to take your life?
Well, I was always fascinated with his research and his discoveries. And the latter part of his life, nobody has been able to duplicate the instruments, the inventions,
Yes.
the latter part of his life. Why? Because Tesla at that time was using scalar energy. He had advanced from AC electricity. So I say frequently, Tesla began his career with electricity, AC electricity. He ended his career with scalar energy. And most people don't even consider that energy dimension. And this is why Tesla's inventions have never been duplicated. You cannot create a scalar energy device with electricity. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I hope that the world realizes someday that there are two energies, and that Tesla's put this in his notes. He was very fluid about this, that he discovered a new type of energy. It's scalar. But to be quite frank, I believe the powers that be are intimidated by this new technology. And that's one of the reasons why Tesla has never been given the credit he's due. This technology is going to have a significant impact on the economic markets around the world, the financial markets around the world.
Little side question, because I'm a huge geek. I watch a lot of Ancient Aliens. Do you think Nikola Tesla was an alien? Because there's a theory. There's a theory that he's an alien, or at least had like influence from our neighbors in the sky.
But I will say this, Tesla mentioned throughout his life that he had flashes of light, that God would give him inspiration. And many times Tesla could see an invention laid before him by these flashes of light without even lifting a finger, without even putting something on paper. So Tesla had that ability to see an invention in his mind, and he would not have to experiment, would not even have to go and draft it out. It was actually downloaded into his mind.
Yeah. I would call that clairvoyance.
Yes. Yeah. That's fascinating. Yeah.
Clairvoyance from aliens. No, I'm just kidding.
Aliens.
That's
guides,
the thing. Like,
God.
there's so many.
Who cares where it comes from?
Exactly. There's so many like interpretations of what aliens actually are. I'm just gonna say different dimensional beings, because that's probably closer to that than what you would think of as an alien.
Okay, so I have a question.
Go for it.
Because I'm an extremely visual person. Can you describe in a sort of simple manner what this device looks like?
Yeah, what are we dealing with here?
Yeah, I'd say the instrument that is used to destroy germs, if I were to put a tape measure to it, it's 7 or 8 feet long, and it would weigh close to 200 pounds. And at the one end of this instrument are Tesla coils, and these Tesla coils are used to augment, are used to amplify the scalar wave. So I actually have some of those photographs on my website if people want to take a look at them. They're all custom built. Everything I'm doing is, if you will, brand new. It's all groundbreaking research. I work with a brilliant engineer that helps me. And we believe we're about to change the world. And we go on record that we have the answer for pathogenic disease.
That brings me to the question I was going to ask you anyway, which I think you answered it, but are you the only one doing this work? I mean, I'm sure you might have a team of people, but is there like a clinic in Arizona that would do this, or are you it?
I've looked at the internet, and I think I'm the only one approaching this type of work right now with this specific intention to destroy pathogens. I don't see anybody else I'm doing what I'm doing.
Is scalar light your term, or is it really the only term?
It's the term in vogue now, used by
Okay.
scientists. But again, to use synonymous terms would be chi, prana, 0 point
Okay,
energy.
got it.
Some call it crystal energy. Some call it pyramid energy.
Okay.
Cool.
Got it. Got it. Got it. So, like I said, we've been working, or you rather have been working with us for the last week or so. What can someone expect if they wanted to give this a try? What's the first step?
The first step would be to visit our website and upload your photograph. Again, it's scalarlight.com. We offer free sessions to the entire world. We do that because we want to prove to the world that this works. And within the first few days, you'll see that you have a cleansing, you have a germ cleansing. We are able to, in one day, eradicate many of the viruses and parasites and bacteria that you've carried for years, and you'll feel better. Frequently, after I work with myself and I treat myself, I feel that my mouth is incredibly clean because I have destroyed the bacteria on my mouth, and even the biofilm on my teeth is no longer there. So that's one of the signs, that's one of the indications that we have successfully destroyed the parasites, the pathogens in your body. And thereafter, as you ladies mentioned, the chakra balancing really starts to kick in within the first week. People will experience a deeper dream state. Many people say that they're calmer, they have a greater sense of the need to meditate and pray. And for many people, this chakra balancing serves to be a change, if you will, in their attitude.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
then there was I know in the emails that you sent us, there was something about nutrient program. Is
Right.
that what is that about?
That's the third component. So scalar, again, being versatile and being this divine energy, I can use scalar to create inside the body nutrients. So on a daily basis, I'm creating vitamins, antioxidants, amino acids, fatty acids, etc. How do I do that? Well, I literally tell my scalar energy instrument to rearrange matter in your body, meaning what? I take the existing elements in your body and I rearrange those elements into micronutrients. So the existing elements, phosphorus, calcium, carbon in your body can be rearranged into a vitamin, can be rearranged into an antioxidant. So I use it myself, and on a daily basis, I am transmuting micronutrients inside my body, and it's helped my health immeasurably.
Dang, that's cool. So would you say, because I'm looking at you on video right now, and if anyone is part of our Patreon, they can watch this in video form and see us doing the interview. Are you one of those people who's like secretly 1,000 years old, but you only look like 39 years old because you've been using this technology for your youthful glow?
I'm 59 years of age, and
Whoa.
I would say that scalar has slowed down my aging process.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It has slowed down my aging process.
That
You
is
definitely
really cool.
don't look 59. You said 59?
Yes.
No.
So when you talk, I know it doesn't make sense, but when you talk about rearranging matter, right? That brings to me a whole set of like, okay, well, how might this do harm? So let me leave it to you to like eradicate that. How might this do harm to someone?
And that's a great question. And that's why there's many things I know about scalar that I will not release. This is a very powerful tool. I do not sell instruments. I don't ever plan to sell instruments. I want to introduce this technology to mankind. And with that, I want to heal the world. Can this be used for harm? Yes, it's like any tool. Anything can be used in a negative capacity. So to cut to the chase, I don't share many things I know about this energy.
Well, it's all about your intention behind
Yeah.
it. That's what makes the difference. Your intention is to help people and to improve their health and to give them more vitality and life force. So that, of course, is changing the way that it's affecting people's energy because your intention alone is working with the energy.
Yes, precisely. And by the way, intention is scalar energy. Anytime you have a thought or an emotion, that's a scalar wave that you've created. So any intention is really a propagation, if you will, of scalar wave, of scalar energy.
So fascinating. I have one more question, and then we have to take our next break. But what does somebody need to do to prepare for a session with you? Do they have to be a believer? Do they have to, like, be totally on board with this for it to work?
To answer your question, no. Why? I treat many infants that are not of the age of reason, and I treat many pets. And obviously infants and dogs and cats have no idea that they're being treated, and they still have favorable results. And why would we have favorable results? Because the energy does what you tell it to do. And whether you realize it or not, you're receiving this salubrious energy, scalar energy, and it is improving your health.
So by default, it is only good stuff and can only help you. But
the way I've calibrated the instruments, I am working within those parameters, and it can only help.
That is so cool. Okay, well, more with you when we come back. We're going to take another break and just dive more into this. I love it. All right, see you on the other side.
Hello, guys. We are back. This is Kelsey Aida here with Miss Lindsay and Tom, and we're talking about everything scalar light and how it can change your life, how it can change the world, how it can help heal people and better everyone's health. So, Tom, we want to dive into some more questions with you because we're really loving this conversation. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing in Africa, the project that you're working on right now?
Yeah, that Africa is dear to my heart, as well as parts of Asia. We realize that people don't have money, so many people we simply work with treat them pro bono. I'll hold up in my hand a collage. This is a photographic collage from Africa. Now, this was taken in Cameroon. Now, there's probably over 60 people on this collage. And all we have to do is take a collage like this and place it inside the scalar energy instrument. And we can eradicate germs from their body. Now, what does that mean if you're living in Africa? Well, many people in Africa are suffering from cholera or tuberculosis or dengue fever, etc. We are able to work with millions of people around the world by way of photographs. Now, to speak to that point, probably in the past 2-3 years, we have treated at least 40 to 50 million people in Africa. How do we do that? Well, we've received millions of photographs like this on collages. And all we have to do is place those collages in an instrument, and scalar energy, again, will do what you ask it to do. It will break apart those microorganisms in the body. Now, again, to further that notion, many of the clinics that we've worked with in Africa, we have been able essentially to either close down or to reduce the number of people who are visiting an HIV clinic. Why? Because we're able to destroy the HIV virus. So you'll see this more and more in the future, that people are going to these HIV clinics, giving us their photographs from Africa. We're able to eradicate the HIV virus, and to the point that these clinics now are starting to close throughout Africa.
Wow, that's really exciting.
Yes, it is. This should be headline news, but it's
well,
not.
There's a lot of people whose agenda is to make money, and if you come in with this technology, a lot of people are going to be making less money, and so of course there's going to be pushback by
so
money.
Let me ask you, because I think talking about follow the money and all that stuff, I think it's important to touch on this on air. Why do you do this for free? Because there's a lot of people, if they had the power that you say you have in the palm of your hand, they would be charging millions, thousands.
Sure they would. I'm a Christian and I want to help people. I'm a humanitarian.
Period. And point blank.
There you go. And God gave me this wisdom because he knew I would use it for his glory. I'll go on record by saying this really is a divine science. And unless your heart is in the right place, I don't think God's going to give you the wisdom for this. I really
that
don't.
Is awesome. That's very profound, and I completely agree. I believe there are some people who have too much power, so I like the idea that this is off limits if you don't have good intentions, Right. And you're helping to do that by not releasing a lot of what this tool is capable of. So you actually sound like you take pride in doing this for free for people, because as you say, you want more people to know about this.
Oh, I do. And especially those who are underprivileged. Let's face it, there are some people in Africa or throughout Indonesia, et cetera, they might make $5 a day. They don't have the money for medical attention. And so we have to do something for them. You have to intercede for people. You have to make a difference in this world. And this is the difference that I want to make.
Yeah. I like that you say that you are a Christian, because I feel like there possibly could be some divide between what you do and mainstream religion. Have you come across anybody that's like, what you're doing is unholy, or anything like that?
Actually, no, because once they understand that this is a scientific process, then they can accept that.
Yeah.
I don't claim that I have per se a psychic instrument. I have a scientific instrument, and I'm not taking anything away from God. And so with that in mind, it seems to be palatable to many people who are religious, or even many people who are, you would consider to be Christians or of some Christian sect.
Yeah. So, I mean, it just goes back to, what do you got to lose, right? I mean, right. You're doing it for free. All they have to do is send you a picture and forget about it if they want, go about their normal routine and just watch, watch it happen and watch their lives get better. So what's the most, I mentioned this over the break, what's the most common thing, if you had to put a finger on, what the most common pathogen, I guess, people seek you out for to get rid of?
Many adults today approach me for herpes. Many people, men and women, have herpes, either oral herpes or genital herpes. Well, per se, there is no cure for herpes. Once you have the herpes virus, you have it for life. And with that, there are health complications. I will say, without equivocation, we do have an answer for herpes. We can destroy the herpes virus by way of scalar energy. And this really resonates with people around the world, because finally there is relief. Finally, they have an answer for herpes viral infection.
And I think HIV is a pretty big one as well. It's amazing.
It is, but I will say this: many people are reticent to share that information still.
Of course,
it carries a stigma. But many people will speak to me in private, and obviously I don't mention their names.
Yeah.
But we will see in the future. This should take off in the next few years, ladies, and eventually the world will realize that we have the answer for herpes and HIV. And I forecast that within the next 5 years, most of the people who are HIV positive, they'll see relief. They will get on this scalar program. Again, we could easily treat 1 million people a day. So within the next 5 years, we're going to be able to eradicate HIV. So
I have a question, but I want to ask this one first. So with HIV, with herpes, with really any kind of treatment that you do, is there a timeline that someone can expect to see results, or is it just vary?
It only takes one session to destroy a virus or any type of pathogen. So within a second, 1 second, we can destroy the herpes virus. We can destroy the HIV virus.
Wow. So why continue to treat someone for a year or more?
A lot of people like it because they want their chakras on a daily basis balance. Or some people are susceptible to germs and they'll have bacterial infection on a regular basis. Yeah. Maybe some people are susceptible and they have strep throat. So many people simply want to stay on the program to be germ-free and to have their chakras balanced every day and to have nutrition assembled in their body on likewise a daily basis.
So I have a question that's personal.
Okay.
And it's like way TMI for the radio, but I don't know, folks, so I'm going to say it.
We love TMI.
So this might be a silly question because obviously it's a type of infection, but in the past, if I have a lot of emotions that are around resentment and anger, I tend to get urinary tract infections, UTIs, which are horrible. Is this something that is treatable with your technology?
Yes. Many of what I will consider bacteria and even parasites associated with UTI can be eradicated. Yes.
I like it.
Good news for all those UTIs.
Good news for all the ladies out there who end up with UTIs and it's like impossible to get antibiotics and blah, blah, blah.
So my big question then, okay, I know I've had a lot of big questions. This is a big question too. You say, I am very protective of this technology because I want to make sure that people have the right intentions. I don't feel like you will be able to discover it if you don't have good intentions. So, but then you say in 5 years, this is going to be more out there. So do you want it to be, out there? Because I know there's a lot of people that might not have good intentions.
I want to promulgate the service that I'm offering to mankind. I'm not going to sell instruments. So I want the world to get on board. And if people were to send me 5 million photographs a day, I would treat 5 million people a day. So understand just how simple this is.
Yeah.
One instrument can easily in an hour treat 5 million people.
So you're not saying I want the world to harness this technology. You're saying I want the world to bring their stuff to me and I will help them. I gotcha.
That's correct. That's correct.
Very important distinction.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about the cool stuff that you have for anyone who visits your website. So for listening into the show, Tom has a really special offer for you.
The website is scalarlight.com, by the way. So you guys know. SCALAR light.com.
We always have a red banner at the very top of the homepage. It says free trial. And you just click that and you can upload as many as 25 photographs of family and friends. And we will work with your entire family. Again, we'll balance their chakras and we'll eradicate the microbes, the germs in their body. And the point behind this is to get the technology out there, to explain to people and have them sample these sessions, and you'll see the merit of this. You'll see how simple and easy this is to give you and your family healing, and all you have to do is submit a photograph.
Have you ever had somebody say it doesn't work?
I've had some people say that they didn't feel better because I can't pinpoint every, there's 40,000 medical diseases. Yeah. I don't claim to be able to solve and cure 40,000 medical diseases, but the greater majority of people who come to me say they do feel better. If you go to our website, we have thousands of testimonies.
Yeah, I've seen them. It's crazy. Because I was looking into when we talked about connecting and doing an interview, I was like, well, let me see what this guy's all about. And the first thing I wanted to see was, what are people saying about what he does? What are the results? And I was blown away, like legit blown away. I had to call our producer and be like, have you seen his testimonials? Because they're crazy good. And that really is what convinced me, like, okay, we need to get this guy on the show. So yeah, definitely. What do you got to lose? Check him out. It's just fascinating. I love it. Yeah, you definitely have a platform to speak from here.
Thank you both. I appreciate your time and your effort. And this is, again, the way we get this information out to the general public. As you mentioned, there's going to be a pushback. There are powers that be that do not want this technology because it will be a threat to their money and power.
Well, and it's the same thing with any kind of, holistic, I guess, like people debunk. I've heard people debunk meditation because it doesn't fit into their box of what works and what doesn't work. And when you say, the reason I ask, do people say it doesn't work ever, is because there's always going to be someone that says, well, that's not that. Even if you go through chemo, it doesn't always work, right? So there's always something. There's always someone or something that it just might not be the best fit for. But as you said, for the greatest majority, they have nothing but good things to say about you. And now add me to that list, because it's so fascinating and so fun to even just conceive of, right? It's got to be fun doing what you do.
Oh, I love it. I love it. You could lock me in a laboratory and I'd be happy.
Yeah.
I'd love it.
And add me to the list too, because anything that can help stabilize my emotional state and help me find more balance, any type of tool, I love it with all my heart, because, life can be hard and we just all need a little bit of help from each other.
You're right. Thank you. That's my attitude. There's 7.8 billion people on the planet. And imagine if everybody did one good deed every day. This would be heaven on earth. So this is my good deed every day. Every day I'm working with people around the world and I'm trying to improve our condition.
And you're doing a great job. Just check out the testimonials.
Yes. Okay. So everyone who's listening, be sure to go to scalarlight.com if you want to have your own free experience of this amazing technology and learn more about it and read all the testimonials, which are actually really fun to go through and see. It's really inspirational to go through and be like, wow, look at all these miracles that happened because of this thing. Not even just around disease and healing, but just to like see so much good happening in the world is just an uplifting thing. That's a way to raise your vibration. So you can go do that. And thank you, Tom, for being here.
Kelsey, thank you.
We seriously adore you for doing this work. And we know that's not easy because I'm sure you get pushed back, like how we were talking about. And when you're such a forward thinker, it's hard to get other people on board with your vision because not everyone understands or can dream that big. So I just commend you for being totally in your authentic self and in your power for doing this work. And
fighting the fight.
Yeah. Doing the thing that you were meant to do. So thanks.
And ladies,
thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So before we wrap up, we just have a couple things to touch on for you guys. The first is if you want to connect with me and Lindsay on Instagram, then go and do that. I'm Kelsey Aida. Lindsay is Lindsay Robinson. Tom, are you on Instagram?
I am, yes.
What's your Instagram?
Yes. I don't know. Our crew carries it. It's under Scalar Light.
Scalar Light. Okay. Look up
just
Scalar
search
Light
for
and
it.
follow them on Instagram. If you want to watch all of our interviews via video form instead of just listening, you can join our Patreon. Anyone who joins the Patreon gets longer episodes every week. They get bonus content. They get access to certain discounts and promos, and you get a lot of extra stuff being in our little Patreon tribe. So if you want to do that, go to patreon.com/highvibe. Also, wherever you're listening to this, most people will probably listen to this on Voice America, but you'll definitely want to subscribe to this on whatever your favorite platform is for podcasts. So whether that's iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, TuneIn, Stitcher, we are everywhere. Just search for High Vibe in it, hit the subscribe button. And if there's an option to leave a review, then that really helps us get the word out about the show and help change more lives. So thanks for being here, you guys. And we love you.
Peace out.
Peace.